Hello and welcome to Mullen's Benefits Companion, a podcast that helps employers navigate the complex legal challenges of managing their employee benefit plans. I'm your host, Brydon DeWitt, and today I'm joined by my colleague, Nona Massengill. Nona is a partner in our employee benefits and executive compensation practice. Welcome back to the Benefits Companion, Nona.
Thank you, Brydon.
Today, Nona is joining us to share her insights on a topic that comes up from time to time with our business owner clients, employee stock ownership plans, or ESOPs. If you're thinking about succession planning, employee engagement, or selling your business, Nona's insights today will be very useful. So, Nona, let's just start at the beginning. What exactly is an ESOP?
Sure, Brydon. So an ESOP is a tax-qualified retirement plan. It is an employee stock ownership plan. Just to make a contrast, it is not to be confused with employee stock options or option plans. Sometimes the abbreviation is used there, but if you're just finding out about these types of plans, an ESOP is a retirement plan.
Can any employer sponsor an ESOP?
So the entity that sponsors an ESOP has to be either a corporation in form or taxed as a corporation. Occasionally, an LLC may elect to be taxed as a corporation, and that is also a sponsor that can have an ESOP. We do see government contractors. We often see employers with a fairly complicated affiliated group structure. So there really is a lot of flexibility, but the corporate nature of the sponsor is important.
So, what are the benefits of an ESOP? Why would an employer consider adopting an ESOP?
So I would say the strongest benefit is there is a really broad-based engagement and incentive potential. Because this is a tax-qualified retirement plan, everyone participates. There may be a little bit of an eligibility threshold, but generally it is across the board. So everyone can be on the same page with a goal of increasing revenue, value, customer growth.
Right. So, just receiving comp from their employer, the employees are the vested interest in the success of the company.
Correct. And long-term success. Another benefit that is more on the corporate side, but that can, certainly wind up as a benefit to participants as well, is that for S corporations, which already are taxed at a single level of taxation, ownership by an ESOP results in a portion of the business owned by the ESOP is essentially not being subject to income tax, because as a retirement plan, the ESOP trust is tax exempt. And therefore, if a tax exempt owner owns an entity with a single level of tax, that can be very tax efficient. Another benefit also that I would say is more on the owner side is that for C corporations, there's the ability to sell, say, for example, founder stock to the ESOP and defer recognition of gain on that sale.
I see. So there are tax benefits in addition to the employee engagement.
Correct. In addition, ultimate distributions from the plan can be rolled over. So, similar to a 401k.
Right. So other than plan sponsorship, when do you see ESOP issues arise in your practice?
It comes up a lot in merger and acquisition transactions. So companies that either are owned by an ESOP and are engaged in, say, a sale process, or that are acquiring an entity that is fully or partially owned by an ESOP. That is a fairly common situation where I would say specialized advice is needed, because there's diligence considerations as well as occasionally independent trustee approval. So very doable, not uncommon, but just needs to be built into a time frame for the deal. I also see it with loans to ESOP-owned companies, including as a refinance or maybe upon the establishment of the ESOP, there are third-party loans involved much of the time.
Can you just share some helpful takeaways for employers and business owners regarding ESOPs?
Just as I mentioned, they are tax qualified retirement plans. So while not exactly the same as a 401k plan, think of it in that category and think of it as just an ongoing benefit to employees where there are administrative responsibilities and fiduciary responsibilities, but it's just one in the array of benefits that a sponsor offers its employees. I'm fairly involved with ESOP-based organizations, and I do see at the companies where ESOPs work best, and can be very successful. There's a lot of employee engagement, and really the company embraces their ESOP ownership identity. And then again, the takeaway about transactions is just if an ESOP is involved, build that into the timetable.
Okay, well, Nona, thank you so much for joining us on the Benefits Companion. Maybe you can come back and provide some more details about ESOPs in the future.
Sure. Look forward to it.
So that'll wrap up our episode of the Benefits Companion. If you have any questions or suggestions for future episodes of this podcast, please contact me. You can also visit our employee benefits page at williamsmullen.com/employee benefits. There you can find out more about our team, as well as past episodes of this podcast and legal alerts. Finally, be sure to subscribe to this podcast to be notified when our next episode posts. Thanks for listening.
This podcast contains general, condensed summaries of actual legal matters, statutes, and opinions for informational and educational purposes only. It is not meant to be and should not be construed as legal advice. Listeners with particular needs on specific issues should retain the services of competent counsel. For more information, please visit our website at www.williamsmullen.com or contact any member of our team.